This is chapter 52 in Beyond Exile. It's called The Marks. And Frank and Ilich have just driven to the Italian province of La Spezia after a drive through the Autostrada del Sol, in which Carlos shot and killed the driver of a silver Porsche 911, believed to be his father, Jose Altagracias Ramirez Navez. And the two are in our inventory: Frank and Ilich, the book of numbers, the Mercedes, the gun, the Beretta, and they are headed here for the Torneo Magistrale, a chess tournament. So we're not exactly sure at this point what Frank is going to do with his friend. He was given instructions a few chapters back to kill Ilich by Desi, but I don't know. These guys are old friends, so we'll see how that plays out, I guess. As the observer, we're watching these two arrive, and when we get to La Spezia, there's a car park. Not much space left with Fiats and Audis cramming the lot. So let's take our big white Mercedes and park that thing. Okay, now when we do that, we see there's an exit to the south, and that we can go south. And that puts us into scene 122, and that's the Duke's parlor at Torneo Magistrale. And here's a mirror room with, you know, where chess players would congregate, I guess. And there is a signor here. We look at this gentleman. Signor Azzori holds the cards aloft like fragile sheets of illuminated manuscript. He announces the pairings at La Spezia in silky patrician tones, bouncing sedately off the rosewood panels. And then on those cards he holds up, there are pairings for the chess tournament. So we look at that. Frank has Janovic with white. Ilich has Tarufi with black. They wear linen jackets over their jeans. Anything else about that? No. Good for those guys. So the two guys are together in the inventory, and they can watch them. We're the observer this time. I didn't say you are someone. So they can go north, back to the parking lot, or go east. Which puts us into scene 123, the chess library at Ubaldo Formentini in the castle of San Giorgio. And in the chess library, there is a chessboard. You look at that, and it says, they researched the Naddorf variation of the Sicilian defense, preparing novelties for the first round. You can take the board, nothing. Alright, that's all they can do there. Let's go back and see what happens. But once we return back to the Duke's parlor, after going to the chess library to study some chess moves, we can continue to go west. It's a new direction. Which takes us to scene 124, the waterfront at the Gulf of La Spezia. And then from here, nothing to interact with, we can continue going south into scene 125, La Spezia fishing pier. And this is down the waterfront part of La Spezia. Ilich takes Frank to Mama Udoni's for lunch. They're walking down by the pier. We can continue down along the waterfront, away from the chess parlor, and go west. And that takes us to scene 126, Mama Udoni's cliffside villa. A small villa tucked under a crumbling granite cliff, 10-minute walk from the docks. Let me see. It's this is a boat in the water here, on a cliff. And then here, you can look at lunch. And lunch is risotto with tartuffe dulcetto to wash it down. Okay, and then we see an Ilich speaking monologue here after lunch. So they grab some grub, some food at Mama Udoni's cliffside villa. I see your eyes, Frank. We won't be playing this afternoon. Your head's boiling with ideas. Penelope, your sweet Caridwen, is back at your side. The Glendover curse is lifted. Poseidon is appeased. We did what had to be done, and now your exile is over. You can write again. And we see there is a brothel story. This looks like a common trattoria, but it's really a legendary brothel mentioned by Petronius. Notice the nautical paintings, the sabbing knot decor. And then it goes on, the story of Mama Udoni. Mama Udoni takes you upstairs. Her massive shoulders and pendulous breasts excite the ancient observations. She introduces you to the sailor's friend. It slips on your penis like a Chinese finger puzzle. She pulls the strings until your glands become a burgundy boxing glove, and you punch for 2 hours straight. She straddles you, singing Irish chanties until you black out. And then you have the Marks story. The marks of the sailor's friend never leave. Your memory is that glove. Your memory has always been that glove. You are flying over and under the world, but now the world presses in. Your mind and body are closer now. You're vulnerable, susceptible. You can entertain your fantasies, and your fantasies can entertain you. And then we see there's an Ulrich story. You can bring Ulrich down from Cologne to wear her white silk top, tight black jeans, and white Adidas tennis shoes. She's hungry for pen arrabbiata and sterling conversation. You're holding hands under the table, a small locondo on the Po. You've parked by the river, talking of Stefan George, the radio broadcasts of Ezra Pound, the American hostages in Tehran, when she dons a Frank mask and you masturbate together to a chorus of sarcastic Italian bullfrogs. Good old Ulrich. And then the story continues with fingerprints. Alright. Ilich is on a roll here. Let's keep them going. Next morning, brushing your teeth, you see her fingerprints burnt into your palm. These alluring dark swirls also never leave. And Ilich goes on. You can write again. The white goddess deceives you again. I deceive you again. As we approach the end of the trip begins. Next stop, the mountains of the moon. That's a lot of information for Frank to figure out. And there's nothing else to do here. But we can go back east to the chess tournament. But Ilich says the trip begins, next stop the mountains of the moon. So maybe this chess trip was indeed a ruse for Frank. Set up. Let's see. So when you talk to Signor and look at the pairings and all that, nothing. You go back to the chess library, the chess parlor, to play the game of chess, and there's no chess to be played. I'll be darned. It was just a ruse. There's no interaction with anything. You go back to the car park for the Mercedes. And then the new chapter starts. So that was it. That's the end of chapter 52, the marks. Ilich drove Frank down to SPIEZIA, the ruse being a chess tournament, but when he got there he told this long story of this Mama Udoni and story of Ulrich. This bit of sexual temptation for Frank. And that was it. That's all the vacation was. So a new chapter begins as they leave SPIEZIA. The new chapter is called The New Babylon Working, and we're going to get to that right after this. Thank you for watching Beyond Exile. That was chapter 52, The Marks.